Boys and girls, we are looking at the pinnacle weapon today for competitive, the Mountaintop. You can start this quest by going to Shacks, picking it up, and then going into competitive and ranking up to Fabled, as well as getting a bunch of grenade launcher kills. Now this grenade launcher, when announced, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't think I've ever seen the community get as angry as they got. I take that back. Whenever we went to 2 primaries, everyone got pretty pissed off. But this one was up there. I saw so many people saying it's gonna absolutely destroy the game. Crucible, it's just gonna be a wasteland. Before we get into the review, I'm just gonna let you know it's not. This weapon has a very steep learning curve and will have a skill gap involved, and a lot of people are probably not gonna use it. But I will say, for those that do take the time to master this baby, oh, it's nasty. Now let's talk about this trait here, guys. Micro missile. The weapon fires in a straight line and has a massively increased projectile speed. How fast? Pretty fast. I mean, it's moving. It's humming. On top of that, they even gave us rangefinder, increased projectile velocity while aiming rocket launchers and grenade launchers. So that in combination there with micro missile, yeah, it's moving, boys. Now, as far as the options here for our actual grenades, we have spike grenades, which actually does more damage on direct hits. We're going to talk about that a little more. And we have sticky grenades. We'll talk about the benefits of both of those here in just a moment. I chose hard launch as well, as that increased that projectile speed. And as you see there from the velocity, yeah, it's max. So that velocity stacked on with micro missile, stacked on with rangefinder, and we have a velocity masterwork. And I'm not sure if the blast radius is capped at 55. I think whenever I did swap over to volatile launch, it wouldn't go any higher than that point. And if you looked at Malicious Birthright, that one was also capped at 55 blast radius. Now let's get back to those grenade perks. Spike grenades versus sticky grenades. Now I actually thought that sticky grenades were going to be doing significantly less damage than spike grenades. Turns out that's not the case. They're both hitting for 182 damage plus that extra 50 something damage. Normally it's like 57, sometimes 59. But the big number there is identical for both of these. Now first, I need to weigh the pros and cons to both of these. Spike grenades, its only real selling point is that it has environmental proximity detonation. Sticky grenades doesn't. As in, if I shoot a sticky grenade at an opponent, it misses them but hits the ground instead, it's a good chance that that grenade won't go off. It's stuck to the ground. It's waiting to be stepped on. And if your opponent's not going to step on it, it will not explode. So for those times that you do want to just get a little bit of damage into your opponent, spike grenades would be the better option, considering it will actually explode upon environment, doing at least some damage to your opponent, allowing you to swap to your other weapon to finish them off. But there's those times that sticky grenades is invaluable, which takes me to my conclusion on both of these. I think it comes down to the map, and it also comes down to what objective you're playing. Like if you're just playing Clash, maybe not so. But if you're holding down some control points, maybe a zone, and you have like this enclosed map where you're all on top of each other inside of these close corridors, it will be a nasty option to choose. You got somebody that's trying to go over there and pick up power ammo to sneak your team? Hey man, don't worry about it. Leave a sticky grenade there for them. Little things like that is what adds a little value to stickies. Where I said that this weapon has a learning curve though, I believe it gets even steeper if you're going to try to main sticky grenades. So my conclusion for Mountaintop for PvP, it's got a steep learning curve, guys. I think it's going to really reward people that main it. Incooch made a comment today and said that it reminded him of Chaperone. And you know, Chaperone is not deadly in everyone's hands, but for those that actually main it, they are disgusting with it, almost unbeatable. This weapon has that potential. It can be unbeatable. The right player with the right skill sets can dominate with this gun, but I can tell you right now, guys, many will not. It is one of the more challenging weapons I have used in this game. On top of that, being challenging is one thing. It does have a level of inconsistency there that did aggravate me. I would say about 1 out of every 20 shots that I landed direct impacts with would not kill my opponent. Now, there's a lot of things that play here, right? My opponent could have been lagging, maybe some network issues. I don't know. I just know that there was a handful of times during this gameplay that it left people one shot. Now, let's talk about PvE. I know this is a PvP weapon. It's the pinnacle reward weapon from competitive, but I cannot overlook how much damage it's doing in PvE. We're back at Greg here though, and with a malicious birthright, the damage here is 2,694 plus 776, which brings us to a total value of 3,470. With Mountaintop, we're hitting 2,667 plus 1,992. for a total damage value of 4,659. So it's doing significantly more damage than other grenade launchers. But to give you a point of reference here, Merciless, that we recently compared to Ikelos, actually pre-nerf Ikelos, was hitting 4,438 damage per fusion rifle burst at Greg. So this nade launcher was actually doing more damage than Merciless was doing per shot. Now granted, Merciless has exotic perks there that's increasing the rate of fire, deeper reserves to hold more ammo. I mean, all kinds of other things to obviously make it a better DPS weapon, right? But I cannot overlook the fact that Mountaintop looks to be a pretty decent weapon in PvE. Now, I wish I could have tested it more like in Gambit and other things, but I didn't want to hold up Jay Kai's account any longer, and shout out to him, man, for letting us get on his account. But after I get this weapon though, guys, I do want to try it out in PvE. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.
Not when you